Shalom from Israel, I'm Maria Ben Avram. This week we are going to reflect on chapter 6 of the book of Psalms by King David. It's another poem, it's another shir, it's another song, which, as we said, this particular series of Psalms are meant to be played, sung by the ones who sing them. So this is for a string instrument called sheminit, to do with probably eight string guitar or harp. O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, neither chasten me in your wrath. In the previous commentaries we have referred actually many times in our blog and in our videos about the meanings of human emotions that are put, so to speak, on God. So jealousy, wrath, anger. Again, we have to understand that God is not human. So there is no anger in God. You may say, yeah, but in the Hebrew Bible, when they're talking about the wrath of God, yes, but we have to understand these human traits most about our feelings regarding our relationship with God. In other words, when God is angry, it is actually the result of our anger in the way we act in life. We explain ourselves. We're angry about something. The moment that we're angry, we are separating ourselves from what it is. So we have said that wrath, anger, haughtiness, like arrogance, make indifference, indolence, envy, greed, and lust. They make us separate ourselves from what is next to us, what is close to us. So when we're angry with someone, we're actually separating. By separating, we're talking about there's no empathy anymore. So we're the ones who separate from our empathy. We stop being loving, being close to a particular situation or a particular person. This is very obvious, by the way. There's nothing mysterious about this. Now, when the Hebrew Bible said that God is angry, we have to understand that in the way that it's written, He's separated from us. But we know that He doesn't separate because He is in everything. But we have to understand that He's the one who is, so to speak, forgotten by us. So we created the separation. Therefore, He's angry, He's jealous, He's upset. But it's not Him. It's because of us. So it's like God's anger is the result of our separation from Him. So He's angry with us. But again, He's not angry because He's God. It's impossible that He could be angry unless He's human, and He's not human. So in Judaism, that's the way we understand it. For other religions, it's difficult. Why? Because they humanize God. God has to be human. God has to be with us like us, but better, because He's God. In Judaism, it doesn't work that way. God is completely beyond our conception, imagination, belief, everything. So the Torah, the Hebrew Bible, and in general, is telling us that the way God is portrayed is the result of our own particular trait, anger, jealousy, our separation from Him. We have to have this clear. Otherwise, we will fall in this belief that God must be human or has some kind of human qualities, if we take it literally. So we have to pay attention to that. How we understand this: "Oh Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, neither chasten me in your wrath." It's like, I don't want to suffer the consequences of my separation from you. So while I am separated from good, what is God in this case? Goodness, empathy, love. That's what it is. That's the way He relates with His creation. Otherwise, you should look around. He sustains our creation every moment. He's not separated from His creation. He's there. Separated in terms that He is God. He is not His creation. It's not. But He sustains it. The fact that He sustains His creation makes it part of Him. So we have to understand these dichotomies, these paradoxes. It's like, it's part of Him, but it's not part of Him. Of course it's not. It's like the analogy that we use often is the android, the robot. It's perfect analogy. See, we're His creation, we're like His robots. But He gave us free will, so we're not robots anymore. We're some kind of different robots. We're His creation. But we have to go back to Him. We have to see what is the program that He put on us. But He makes us unique, not robots, not androids. He gave us free will. So it's like, in this there is a program. What is the program? The program is goodness for the sake of goodness, for the purpose of goodness. That's the whole idea. And we may choose not to, but then it's our responsibility. We cannot blame God for the choices we make. We know that. So we need to leave this clear. This is very, very important. We do that all the time, over and over again, because we want to say this in many ways possible, so we really settle in our consciousness. Settle it in our consciousness. This is essential. So when King David is asking God, please don't punish me in your anger. It's like the negative consequences that I have to face because of my choices, my negative choices, don't make me suffer that much. I know that if we choose negative things, we're gonna get negative things as a consequence. But even if that happened to us, we ask God, don't make it that hard on us. It's like, don't make us feel that you are separated in our suffering of our choices. He said, yeah, we acknowledge, we made mistakes. This is negative things that are happening to us, they're coming to us, it's our responsibility. Yes, but do not, God, abandon us in this. Don't leave us in our own suffering. Don't leave us alone here. That's what it is. So King David is not, he's not telling God, okay, I made a mistake, I'm gonna have negative consequences, don't punish me. He's not saying that. He's saying, yeah, I did something wrong and it had consequences and so forth, but don't abandon me because of that. I don't want to feel that I am having this pain and feel that you abandon me. That's the wrath. That's the anger of God. Don't let me do this in your absence. Even in my suffering, be with me. That's what David is asking God here. And we should do that. It's like we can't handle the negative outcome, consequences, results of our actions. We can't. We know that. They become our hell, our punishment. Then instead of saying, okay, God abandoned me because I made a mistake, now I'm alone in this and I have to swallow it and I have to suffer it, David is saying, don't abandon me. It's like, everything that is coming to me, yeah, it's mine. I assume my responsibility. I face it. I cannot escape it either. But be with me. Even in negative circumstances, be with me. May your love be with me. Your presence be with me. Our empathy, God and I, be with me. Do not leave me. I don't want to suffer without you. Like, show me you're there for me. Do not punish me in your wrath. Because if we take it literally, it's like, hey, we did something that God didn't like, He's going to punish me, He's going to be angry with us, please don't be angry with me. That's what it looks like. But in a deeper level, we understand that it's not that way. We know that. We are punishing ourselves with the outcome of our poor choices. So we cannot tell God, this is God, God is not angry with us. He has never been. We are angry with Him. We feel abandoned, but we were the one who abandoned Him. This is very important. That's the wrath of God. That's the jealousy of God. Don't go to other gods. Don't serve other gods. I'm a jealous God. You should be with me. Stay with me. Don't go to your ego's fantasies and illusions and get trapped in them. Be with me. I'm jealous of you. I want to be with you. That's God's love. Then we choose to go away, to separate. And then we blame Him. It's like, we have the nerve to... That's what it sounds here, but it isn't. But those are the words that David used, asking God, don't abandon me in my own suffering. But he's not calling God wrathful or angry. He's not. He said, do not abandon me in my suffering. Verse 3. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I languish away. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are affrighted. He wants to be redeemed. It's like, I am in this suffering process. I'm paying the consequences of my acts, of my poor choices, of my negative choices. Be grateful to me. Give me back. Get my consciousness back to you. In your grace. Take me back to your grace. Heal me. It's like, remove from here my sickness. It's like, yeah, I made a mistake, I'm suffering, but don't just remove me from there. We have to understand this as a chapter of repentance. Repentance in the way I want to return to the way it was. I want to abandon this suffering. I don't want to be there. Take me back to you. Help me. He's asking for help. David is asking for help here. That yes, I made a mistake, I'm suffering. Don't leave me alone. Don't let your anger, don't let your separation remain. Don't. Just like, get my consciousness back to your grace, to the empathy of you, with you. I languish away, I'm suffering. I'm scared. My whole structure, my bones, my whole being is suffering. It's in darkness. Verse 4. My soul also is sore in fear. And you, O Lord, how long? It's like you created good and evil, you created darkness and light. Suddenly I came into the darkness by my own choice. It's heavier than I can handle. Save me out. Redeem me. Take me back to you. So the soul is also there suffering. So David is not only, again, as we said it from the beginning, it's not only about the emotional pain of the consequences of our negative actions and our suffering and our pain. It's also talking about his soul. He said, my soul also is sore. It's in pain. So it's like soul is the connection. We know that. By the way, this is our connection with God. But then we have to be aware that in this connection, we need to have this connection healed, alive, healthy, vibrant. So, for how long? It's like, I know, I do have a learning process out of my choices, but there's a time frame here. It's going to be so long. So it's like, don't make it too long. But we can handle this. We can't. It's too much. We don't even know what we did, what we hear now in this mess. For how long? So you created me. Make me be an understanding soul. Maybe make me an understanding being. Return, O Lord, deliver my soul. Save me, redeem me from your compassion's sake. So you're compassionate. That's the way you relate to you. You're a compassionate not person, but being. Then do me that. And you return to me. It's like he wants to return to him. But again, the idea is that God abandoned us. He's far. But he's not far. He's with us. We ask him, return to us. But again, in order to ask God return to us, we have first to have to return to him. But that's difficult. David knows that. Then he asking God, return to me. It's like, take me out of here. Because I can't. I can't. It's too much for me. It's bigger than me. Sixth, for in death there is no remembrance of you. This is very, very important. We will elaborate. In the netherworld, in the grave, who will give thanks to you? This is essential. David is so smart. It's very, very smart. We have said and we will be saying tirelessly that the Jew who understood the Torah the most of all Jews, probably with Solomon, was King David. And the proof of that is this. 150 chapters of understanding what is the relationship of the Jewish people with God. He really got it right. That's why we read Psalms every day. It's the foundation of our prayers, daily prayers. It's the foundation. It's the base, it's the structure. Because it's our understanding of God as our creator and our sustainer, our life. And we have to understand that very well. We have to grasp that, assimilate it, integrate it in our consciousness. It's important. So when he says, he's very smart, David. He challenges God, by the way. He's like, yeah, I'm your creator, but you know what? Make me better. Make me better. Don't leave the whole package to me. There are things that are hard to handle. I'm not ready for this thing. I'm too human for this. So this is classical, which is repeated in other psalms later. He say, can a dead person remember you? Can a dead person remember you? And later he said in another psalm, can a dead person can praise you? Of course not. We're dead, basically. In our negative approach to life, in our negative existence, I mean, the moment that we have it, we cannot praise you. Because we're trapped in this netherworld, in this hell, in this purgatory, this grave. I mean, how can we praise you? We're trapped in our own negativity. We can't. Can't. So like, if you want me to praise you, take me out of here and I will praise you. I will thank you. Give me the chance to thank you. I cannot, in this condition, I can't. What is the benefit in my grave? What is the benefit in my death? Can I praise you? Being dead, I can't. Bring me back to light so I can shine up to you and praise you as the God of light that created me. But I can't do that. I can't if I'm dead. And I'm dead at this moment. I'm so in darkness. I'm so in pain. This is not life. So take me out of here. This is so important. That's why we read Psalms every day. And when we have problems and we're in darkness and suffering or negative choices and everything, we read Psalms because this is it. 7. I am weary with my groaning. Every night I make my bed to swim. I melt away my couch with my tears. It's like, it's clear, we're suffering here. It's like in my tears, in my suffering, I can't. I'm away from you. In my separation from you, I am suffering. This is my bed. 8. My eye is dimmed because of vexation. It waxed old because all my adversaries. He's telling God, I have egos, fantasies, and illusions. All these negative tendencies and traits in consciousness. Those are my enemies. Besides the physical enemies. I mean, the Philistines, the enemies, the neighboring enemies of Israel when he was leading his people to settle in the land and build the temple. So this is my eyes. Eyes, we have said that we relate seeing to knowing. We know that. Vexation is like when we are basically humiliated. We're in humiliation when we are suffering. When we are in darkness. It's like our knowing, our seeing is dimmed. We cannot see. We don't know anymore. We lost the references. That's what David is telling us here. And the references are God's goodness, God's ways and attributes, which are our common bond with Him. So David is saying, in this lower state of consciousness, I can't. I'm trapped. I'm surrounded by my enemies. I'm trapped. So take me out of here. Then it's interesting because David starts standing up. It's like he knows that he has to make his own job before asking God for help. He has to take action. Then he says, verse 9, depart from me, go away from me, all you workers of iniquity, for the Lord has heard the voice of my weeping. It's like, I know that God is with me. Now that I know that God is with me, I can start getting rid of what I don't need anymore. I can start moving away my enemies. Because the goodness of God is back with me. It is with me. It's always been with me. But now I am aware that God is helping me. It's like, hey, why are you asking if I'm with you? You're the one who separated. Do your job. Remove what is negative in you. What is make you suffering. So it's like, then David says, move away, God is with me. And if God is with me, who could be against? 10. The Lord has heard my supplication, my prayers, my begging. The Lord received my prayer. Like the beginning, we see that David is doubtful about God. It's like, in your wrath, in your anger, please don't justice me. But then he goes through this process in this chapter until he realizes that he has to take the necessary steps to get out of his suffering and defeat his adversaries, his enemies. So he starts removing every negative trait and trends in consciousness. But God is there. It's us. It's within us. It's here. So it's like, then I know, now that I'm able to remove, that I'm taking action for myself, for my own sake, then I realize that goodness that is powerful, that is my strength, is here for me to express who really I am. Who really I am. Who really am I? Like coming back to my own goodness. God is my goodness. I came from God's goodness. Then I have to switch back to that in my consciousness. Then my own goodness will remove anything that is different than goodness, ways, and attributes. So this is a learning process. David is telling us, yes, we have to pray God. We have to go back to God. We have to get the empathy, having Him with us all the time in every moment. And then our enemies will fall in front of our eyes. 11 and last of the verses of this chapter 6. All my enemies shall be ashamed and sore, affrighted. They shall turn back. They shall be ashamed suddenly. Suddenly is like fast. It's like this is the culmination of the prayer. This is the culmination of the message of this chapter. It's like once we go back to our own essence and identity, which is God's love, which is the goodness from which God made us, then bye-bye enemies. The enemies will be ashamed. It's like our own jealousy will say to us, it's like, or our own arrogance, it's like, I have done bad to you. I'm ashamed of you. You have to, now I have to be not your arrogance, but your pride. Pride in a positive way. Just be proud of being good, doing good, for instance. That's a reason to be proud. It's a good pride. This is like of the lust that we feel, this lust, to possess bodies and this kind of thing. So what about possessing God's knowledge, lusting for it? So the lust for the Torah. Then our enemy, it's like these negative traits talk to us actually. This is what it is. Our indifference, like, I'm ashamed, that make you indifferent all this time, separated from everybody. Feeding your anger, feeding your arrogance. I'm ashamed of myself. It speaks indifference and indolence. It's like, don't be indifferent anymore. Be present. Be there. So, with this, we finish this chapter, our reflections on this chapter 6 of the book of Psalms. We wish you an amazingly blessed week. Shabbat Shalom. And until next time.